This is Red Wings Live on Fox Sports Detroit. It's presented by Arby's. For the longest time, they were like old classmates. The Red Wings and Maple Leafs sort of grew up together and then would only see each other occasionally. But when they did, it was still special, still magic.
Wings a go. Here's a breakthrough. In on goal. Yes. Scores! Bingo. Eiserman!
With talk of a game outdoors at Michigan Stadium, there was only one option for the pairing, and the Wings and Leafs divided the big house equally. Tonight, they'll meet for the 767th time, and in their shared history, they are separated by one single game. Another page in that history gets turned this evening in Toronto. Happy Friday. Welcome to Red Wings Live with Peaches and Herb here. I'm John Keating. He is Darren Elliott. He is Chris Osgood. Wings and Maple Leafs coming up at the bottom of the hour. In the NHL, when you get a point, that's a good news, bad news thing. Lucky to get the point. Steamed it was only a point. And Darren, there's some bounce back that's required from the Wings last game against Boston.
Yeah, they need to get their feet moving. I mean, it was one of those games that they chased an awful lot. They didn't seem to have a lot of jump and jam in their own zone, not like they did in the first two games. They got a point because the goaltending of Jimmy Howard, they're going to have to be a lot better here this evening.
Yeah, for sure they are, and the power play is going to have to be a lot better. It wasn't very good last game, and really, in the end, the work ethic and the drive is really what cost them in the end, but the power play as well really took the wind out of their sails numerous times. They just could not accomplish a single thing on that power play. And tonight, I look for their power play to be a lot better.
All right, we're just getting started. Wings and Maple Leafs renewing acquaintance coming up here on Fox Sports Detroit. We took off shoes and socks to do it, but we've done the math. Gustav Nyquist is on pace for an 82-goal season. 3 goals in 3 games, that's right. And with more on the Wings' most trending player, let's get you to Toronto right away. Trevor Thompson joins us from there tonight. T.
John, let's build on that. 3 goals in 3 games, but Wednesday was his 100th game in the NHL, and he scored in that game for the 35th time in those 100 games. He's the first Red Wing player in the last 20 years to accomplish that feat. You have to go all the way back to Slava Kozlov, who started his NHL career scoring 37 goals in his first 100 games. Earlier this morning, I had a chance to ask Nyquist what these big numbers mean to him.
I don't know what to, I guess that's cool. You know, I'm just happy to be up here and playing hockey with the Wings. Obviously, it's a dream come true. And first 100 games, I think that was a big thing for me. Just the game part. Didn't even think about the goals. So. Yeah, first time I've heard, actually.
Does it feel like it's been 100 games? Has it gone quick, or how do you?
It's gone by fast, I think. But it's because you're having so much fun playing here. You know, it's a dream come true to play in the NHL, obviously, and it's gone by fast for sure.
He's scored everywhere he's been, but he's scored points, not goals. And he's got a good shot. He's got elite hockey sense, and obviously he's got some confidence. And you know, there's lots of players that come to this league that takes a long time to get a confidence. He arrived a little bit older and a little bit more established, and so he's got his confidence quicker.
And you just heard from Mike Babcock, who was lamenting the fact that in overtime, late in overtime, with 40 seconds left against the Bruins on Wednesday night, he had a power play and elected to sit his hottest hand, Gus Nyquist, on the bench for that power play. We all know how that turned out. The Red Wings did not score, but Babcock is still kicking himself for that move. So in all these situations tonight, with a man advantage, look for Gustav Nyquist to be on the ice, looking for the puck, looking to score for Mike Babcock and the Red Wings as they take on the Leafs here in Toronto, John. Back to you inside the studio for now.
All right, Trev, thanks. You can see the Air Canada Centre filling up. Wings and Maple Leafs coming up. The Wings with a back-to-back home-and-home meetings with Toronto. You knew that the former Leaf Jonas Gustafsson was going to get one of the games. We expect now that he'll go tomorrow, but the Wings don't steal that point on Wednesday without the play of Jimmy Howard. It's our Miller Lite breakdown. He wasn't great in the shootout, guys, but he was in the previous 65 minutes. He was terrific.
Yeah, he's been great all year, actually. He's given them the opportunity to win each and every time he started this year, and that's 3 games. But he looks quicker this year. He's fit. He worked out, not harder, he worked out different than he did previous seasons. He did more Pilates. Flexibility is a lot better because he did have some knee and groin issues. You can see here the new flexibility he has, but he looks a lot quicker, and he's getting himself square to the puck there, and before that shot is taken, he's looked really sharp. And forget about the stats. He's given them a chance to win each and every single night this year.
The third period, you want clutch saves. He made tremendous 3 grade A saves with the game on the line. That's the kind of goaltending they're going to require. You hope you don't have to be that good all the time, that many nights, but he was fantastic in the third.
The hump that he has to get over, though, is being better in shootouts. It has been a bit of a bug for him.
Yeah, he didn't look confident in this shootout. He, to me, gave up the breakaway goal that was very, very similar to right there. Krejci had a breakaway in-game that was very similar to that, and he just doesn't look set in the shootout.
The best point you made there, Darren, is confidence.
Yeah.
And as a goalie, it's like a pitcher in baseball. If you're not confident to get over the plate, it's not going to get there. And for a goalie in a shootout, it's very similar. You have time to wait for him coming in. And maybe he's guessing a bit, but he just needs a couple of wins on those shootouts to get that confidence going. And he can go on a roll by winning 10 in a row. It changes very quickly.
The thing about it is, to me, that I don't like about it is you look at it and you go, okay, I was great in the game. And he skates off the ice all glum. But, you know, it's a confidence, it's a situational thing. It's not the same as everything at full speed.
Okay, I would call this game preparation or homework. Some would call it stumbling upon something. But we stumbled upon this as the Wings get set to take on the Maple Leafs tonight. We are reminded that Chris Osgood's NHL debut was 21 years ago Wednesday, just 2 days ago in Toronto. So Darren and Ozzy have become great friends. We will throw this quiz now at Darren. How good on Osgood? Ozzy's NHL debut, Darren, went A, very well, B, not very well.
I'm going to say it didn't go very well.
Darren?
Sorry, man.
Ozzy?
Well, I say C. How long did it last? And not very long.
All right, our next question. Ozzy was pulled in that game in favor of Bob Asenza, A, B, Vincent Riendo, C, Glenn Hall.
Come on, Glenn Hall.
I would go Vinny Riendo. I know that Bobby Essenza was here, but I'm going to say Riendo.
Tim Cheveldae was another option. Do you remember?
Is he right again?
Yeah. Do you remember?
Wow.
Yeah,
I remember Tim Cheveldae. He was injured at the time. He had a bad knee.
Vincent Riendo came on in relief of Ozzy. The first goal he surrendered was to A, Doug Gilmour, B, Todd Gill, or C, Bob Rouse. The last two guys became Red Wings.
Or Gill. We gotta go with. What were the options again?
Gilmour, Gill, and Rouse.
I gotta be Dougie Gilmour. I gotta say.
I hope it was Gilmour.
It wasn't Gilmour, but he had a hat trick in the game. It was Todd Gill who had the first goal.
Keep on putting me down, John.
All right. Maple Leaf Gardens is known for A, an appearance by Elvis back in 1957, 11 Stanley Cups, benches that you could be within arm's reach of fans, Chris Osgood's NHL debut, or E, all of the above.
All of the above, I would say.
Yeah. Do you know this one? These days, Maple Leaf Gardens is A, recreational hockey rink, or B, a grocery store.
Loblaws.
Loblaws.
Grocery store, incredible. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and there's a college that's around there that they have some athletic facilities. All right, and the last one, in 1993, Ozzy most closely resembled A, an NHL goalie on his way to 401 wins, B, there it is, Elroy Jetson, or C, the bag boy at Loblaws.
I thought you'd say Doogie Howser. I thought for sure that was coming up next.
I thought you were closer to the 401 heading back to the minors.
Look at that precious face. Mother of God, look at that. Do we have the Elroy Jetson piece that we can...
The hair is what I'm worried about.
Okay. You have to use your imagination here. But let's go back in time a little bit and show some of Ozzy's NHL debut. How nervous were you playing in this game at Maple Leaf Gardens?
I was really nervous, actually. In the morning, Scotty Bowman called my room, and I went down for breakfast with Scotty Bowman. That enough makes you nervous to begin your day. And then he told me I was playing, so that was nice. The eggs didn't really go down too quickly then. headed off to Toronto, had a pregame skate. I was more in awe of anything. I grew up watching games at Maple Leaf Gardens, and obviously the game didn't go. I think I got pulled on the Doug Gilmour spin around behind the net, but in the end, after that game, the thing I took away from that was one positive, that I could play in the league because I played against the best team at the time. They're 10-0, and I could compete, although they did score, I think, 4 or 5.
Yeah, well, what a career you had. 401 NHL wins.
Good stuff there.
They are now being run by Brendan Shanahan, and of all the assistant coaches that Randy Carlyle had, well, they were run off after last season because it was another season that didn't include the playoffs for the Maple Leafs. They're always great theater. Trevor Thompson rejoins us with the early season temperature of that TO team as Red Wings Live continues on this Friday night. With the beer company and authentic things, but the Guinness people wouldn't sign off on making the crowd at the Big House the official biggest gathering for a hockey game in history. And the Winter Classic had classic winter weather for the meeting between the Wings and the Leafs. In the bitter cold, of course, they went to overtime and beyond, and Toronto won in a shootout. They did not get the attendance record because it was too cold for tickets to be scanned, and people were still filling the place in the second period in Ann Arbor. That was a high point in a Leaf season that didn't have enough of them down the stretch. In fact, the Wings avenged that New Year's Day loss by beating Toronto twice in a Leafs tailspin that saw them lose 12 of 14 and finish out of the playoffs for the 8th time in 9 years. And that went over a boot, as well as being teased for saying a boot. Proud Canadian and known to say a boot is Trevor Thompson, who rejoins us now from the Air Canada Centre with more on the Leafs. T.
If you're going to say it, John, you have to say it properly. About.
Okay.
And about 10:30 this morning, I looked up into the stands, and there was actually a talk show on Leafs TV centered around their morning skate. I tell you that to say all eyes are on this team 24/7, 365. Missing the playoffs, rather, not an option, especially this year. Many thought Randy Carlyle would have been among the coaches swept out last year and lost his job for failing to get to the playoffs. However, Carlyle is back. His team is back. Some new pieces in place, looking to get over that hump this time around.
It's a new year, it's a new team, so it's tough to really compare apples to oranges. But again, anytime you go through a trying time, you just got to take from it what you can and just move forward. So again, we're just going to take it one day at a time and go from there.
I think we're on to something right now, so I think we've just got to continue to build off that. I think the other big thing is for us is playing full 60 minutes and playing hard, playing in the other team's zone. You know, you never want to be in your zone too much, so I mean, I think playing in their zone and finding a way to help our goalies out, and I think we've done that the last 2 games, has played pretty well in their own zone.
We're a team that obviously hasn't had the required result the last while, and we're trying to change the makeup of our group. We're trying to change the way we are presenting our lineup with, as we talked about from the beginning of the year, 9 forwards in their top groupings versus the original would have been 6 top forwards, a checking line, and an energy line or a tough line or whatever. And there are still teams that are have that model, but with our lineup, we've decided to go in a little bit different direction.
Last season, the Leafs finished 9 points, but just 1 loss behind the Red Wings for that final spot in the playoffs. They begin in earnest to battle for those spots again here tonight as these 2 teams go home and home this weekend. John, back to you.
All right, more of Trevor from Toronto in just a moment. He has to be one of the most intriguing players on the Red Wings roster. We keep waiting for Johan Franzen to explode as a 40-goal scorer. He's heard that for a few years now. But you'll be surprised to hear what Franzen has to say about the expectations of others. You will next. Live on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by ZotAuto.com, home of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Ford, Toyota, and Scion. As always, tonight, if any Detroit player were to come up with a tour de chapeau, that's a hat trick, you could bring a copy of the scoring summary to an Arby's tomorrow for a free small order of curly fries. And Johan Franzen's a guy who knows all about Le Chapeau. He has 6 of them in his career, 3 in the regular season and 3 in the playoffs. He scored 5 goals in a game and 4 in another. And that's always seemed to be the way it's been for the guy that Steve Yzerman famously nicknamed the Mule. Goals in bunches. And yet the Mule doesn't see it that way. He doesn't see it that way at all, in fact.
I'd like to win games.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all I care about. You know, people wants me to say that I should score 40 or 50, but hey, I'm saying that I'm not that kind of player. I'm saying I'm kind of a more defensive-minded. Some people don't like me saying that, but that's what it is, and I like to win games.
I mean, that's
No.
but I appreciate that, because that's good stuff. You're trying to dispel some notions about how people perceive you.
Yeah, I'm just tired of hearing, if you don't score 2, you're no good. Like, oh, he didn't score this game. It was bad.
And on this team, being a defensive forward is job one, right? So that's your first role.
No, do things right. The opinion is usually like, if you don't score a goal, you haven't been good, and I don't like that. I don't like to have that label on me, and that's never the player I've been. I had a good run, 08. I was scoring tons of goals, but after that, I score a decent amount, like when I get the opportunity, and so.
Very candid Johan Franzen. Perhaps he is your pick as the McDonald's player of tonight's game. It's presented by the new triple cheeseburger for only $2. Stay tuned to tonight's postgame edition of Red Wings Live to see which Red Wings player takes home the honors. We cling to our status as Hockey Town, but a Friday night for hockey in Toronto is something special, especially special for a kid from there. Brendan Smith will play in Toronto for the 3rd time tonight and talk of the importance of his start to his year when he joins us from the ice next. Red Wings Live brought to you by Flagstar Bank, a proud and official partner of the Detroit Red Wings. You're a kid from Toronto. You're playing at home against the Maple Leafs. Life is good for Brendan Smith, who is home for the night and not having to worry about sharing the ice and the family spotlight with his pesky brother Riley, whom we saw twice in the last week in games against the Bruins. He's with Trevor Thompson on the ice now at the Air Canada Centre. T.
Well, John, it's been an interesting start for the Red Wings, and especially Brendan Smith so far. In the first 4 games, you have played against your brother twice, and now you're going to face your hometown team. That's a good start for you in the club.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, having my family come and watch me play against Riley has been a lot of fun. And then come home and play in front of my family and friends. It's pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun, but it's all business. The rivalry is renewed. You know all about how it feels. How much do you think the intensity will be lifted here tonight? Because you two teams will battle all year for the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see them a lot. So I think that we're going to be coming. They're going to be coming. It's going to be a great game for the fans. And it's kind of, I know it's early, but it's kind of must-wins right now just to get the momentum going. And, I mean, we're going to see them so much, so you want to set the tempo early.
Your coach talked about how your team was unable to unleash that speed last game on Wednesday against the Bruins. How can you turn things around and use that speed here tonight, Brendan?
We got to start winning draws and getting pucks deep, and that's going to make us as a faster team. I mean, I think what he meant by as a whole team, we didn't move the puck well, and you slow the game down that way, and we want to be quick. We want to get pucks up, get pucks deep, and get pucks at the net, and that's how you play fast.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
There goes Brendan Smith. He and his Red Wing teams looking to take the first of this back-to-back against the Leafs this weekend. Keats, back to you inside the studio.
All right, Trev, thanks. Jimmy Howard needed to be great on Wednesday for Jimmy Howard, but his team needed it because they didn't have the puck very much. You don't have it, you can't shoot it. Ozzy and Darren will delve in how the Wings have to be better at the dot next. It's an optimistic look around the league brought to you by Xfinity. In last night's game against Dallas, Pittsburgh's Pascal Dupuis was cross-checked, and a shot from a teammate went off the back of his neck, and he reported immediate numbness in his hands. He had to be stretchered off the ice. He gave a thumbs up on his way out, and after a night in the hospital, he was back on the ice for the Pens practice this afternoon. All right, Wings and Leafs upcoming here on Fox Sports Detroit. Puck possession is everything in the game. The main reason the Wings struggled against Boston on Wednesday was that they were chasing the puck all night. Mike Babcock saying after the game, at one point I looked up, they had won 11 faceoffs. We had won 2. Let's look at what happened that night, what has to happen tonight with some help from Fox Vision.
Well, you take a look at what they want to do is you want to win faceoffs. We're going to really focus in on the defensive zone of the Red Wings. Boston Bruins, they win faceoffs collectively. It's not just the fact that Patrice Bergeron is one of the best in the game. He was 7 of 8. in the offensive zone alone, 71% overall. They start with the puck, and they have a lot of different wrinkles, as we're showing you here, to come up with the puck. But what they end up doing, one quick pass, and where does the puck go? Bam, right to the front of the net.
And every time it seemed like Boston, this happened off every single draw in the offensive zone. They had opportunity on the net against Jimmy Howard. The Red Wings got to do a better job of sorting this out, but first and foremost, they got to go in with a plan. If they lose it, they got to know who's going to where, who's doing what, whose job is what, and really go in there, get some energy, get in there quick with some purpose. Just don't go in there, try and lift a guy's stick or try to rub a guy. Get in there some purpose, be aggressive, and make sure you beat them to the puck.
Yeah, that's the one thing, that there was not a lot of jump after those lost faceoffs, a lot of standing around. It translated to a lot of zone time for the Bruins. The Bruins look good, not so much for the Red Wings. That has to change tonight.
All right, that's something to watch as the Wings and Maple Leafs get set to renew acquaintance. It's the first of 5 meetings between Detroit and Toronto, and the first of an old-fashioned home-and-home weekend. This one is in their barn. Ken and Mick take over next at the ACC. Wings and Leafs coming up on a Friday night.